There has never been a more vital time for journalism than now, and photographers are our eyewitness to this moment. Lynsey Addario is one of the most important photojournalists of our generation. In 2007, when I was a photo editor at the New York Times Magazine, Lynsey was on assignment for us along with the reporter Elizabeth Rubin. Both were embedded with the military in the Korangal Valley. The Korangal was a Taliban stronghold and one of the most dangerous regions in Afghanistan. At that time, women in the U.S. military were not permitted to fight on the front lines, yet Lynsey and Elizabeth knew that this rule did not apply to female journalists. Over 2 months, they slept in bunkers in freezing weather and were under fire daily. Lynsey patrolled with the troops in extraordinary conditions and documented soldiers' day-by-day experiences on the front lines under constant threat. On one unforgettable day, the Taliban ambushed the patrol she was on. 3 soldiers were shot and 1 was killed. It was the first honest and real view of war she ever had. Throughout her career, Lynsey has been our witness to so many front lines. She has made exceptional pictures and taken tremendous risks. In 2011, while covering the Arab Spring, on the front lines of the Libyan revolution, she was held hostage along with 3 other New York Times journalists for a week. She was tied up, blindfolded, groped, threatened with execution, shuttled around the front lines, and finally released to the U.S. government. It was unusual for Lynsey to become the story herself, but this didn't keep her away from going back to work. Lynsey does not like anyone to dwell on the fact that she is a female photojournalist. However, she has used gender to her advantage to tell stories about women that could never be told by men. When I was the photo director at Time magazine, Lynsey worked on a phenomenal project called Finding Home, in which she was part of a reporting team that identified multiple Syrian refugee women who were about to give birth. She documented the birth of the babies and followed the mothers through the first year of the baby's life as the families traveled and eventually relocated to different European countries. It was a profound way to tell the story. Time and time again, Lynsey has focused our attention on women's issues and women's health around the world. One of her most powerful bodies of work, in fact, centers on maternal mortality in many regions. To say that Lynsey's work is influential is not enough. Her work is infinitely more powerful than that. When the pharmaceutical company Merck first saw her maternal mortality work, they invested $500 million. Lynsey has been honored with many awards throughout her career, most notably the prestigious MacArthur Genius Grant. She was part of a New York Times Pulitzer Prize winning team. She has received 3 honorary doctorate degrees and has 2 books, Of Love and War and a memoir, It's What I Do. Lynsey is a true barrier breaker in her own right and has grown to become a beacon in photojournalism. It is a huge privilege to be her sometimes editor and all the time friend, and it is an honor to introduce her here tonight.
It is such an incredible honor to be inducted into the 2020 Hall of Fame. This is my medal, and it's very, very heavy. I'm going to put it around my neck, and I don't know if that translates, but it's really heavy. Okay, so I never imagined I would see my name sandwiched between Ansel Adams and Diane Arbus, 2 great visual inspirations for me from a young age when I was just experimenting with photography. So thank you to the International Photography Hall of Fame, to the staff, the board, everyone involved in bringing me into the fold. It's really an incredible honor. And particularly at this point in history, 2020 has been quite a year for everybody. I wouldn't say a positive year, but it also has highlighted the importance of journalism and the importance of photojournalism with all of the things that we've been through, not only as a nation, but as a world. I think it seems like truth is on trial every single day in the United States, and photojournalism and the importance of it could not be more acute. It couldn't be more important right now. It's something that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. So it really falls on me and on my colleagues. We are really a team, all of us, contributing bit by bit to documenting this time in history, but also creating a record of history that we can all look back upon one day. to provide photographs, not only as evidence of current events, but for a record in the future. It's been a really great privilege to work for the most incredible publications like the New York Times, National Geographic, Time, Newsweek. They've really entrusted me over the years to be a storyteller and to bear witness on behalf of millions. And so that is a great responsibility that I don't take lightly, that I am so appreciative every single day to have a job that enables me to travel around the world, meet the most incredible people, to be inspired daily by the people I interview and photograph, and to bring those stories to the world and to the United States, because it's so important to have perspective and to maintain that perspective, especially as the world seems like it's shrunk during coronavirus when we can't really travel. So we really have to rely on photographs to bring us around the world and on journalists in particular places. I really want to thank, first and foremost, my colleagues who have been there from the very beginning, who have inspired me in every way. To my three sisters, who gave me the greatest training ever to be a war photographer by beating me up daily from the time I was born. And lastly, to my husband, who has not only kept me grounded, who has continued to challenge me and to ensure that I am growing as a photographer and as a journalist. So that's it. Thank you to the Hall of Fame once again. And it's really exciting. Here's the medal once again, just in case. And there's my name. Yay! Bye.
The late Alfred